Steve Loomis with Walking That Mile. By now, of course, you have heard about the school shooting at Annunciation Catholic School in Minneapolis, where the horrific scene, 2 kids, 8 and 10, were killed, and 17 more people were shot and injured. Did you know, though, that this could have been prevented? There was funding requested by these schools, non-public schools, funding that was already in place, $50 million school safety program that these schools reached out to the governor and asked, can we get a grant? Can we get some funding for school security? In 2022 and 2023, Minnesota Catholic and private school leaders asked Governor Walz for security enhancements because they cited that there were more risks, there were more threats, there were more school shootings. Specifically, they cited the incident back in 2023 in Nashville at the Covenant school, Christian school, where a transgender person shot up the school there and killed 3 9-year-old children and 3 adults. So this $50 million program, school safety program in Minnesota, was already in place. There was money there. Governor Walz refused to fund the grant for the non-public schools. Remember back then, though, we had an $18 billion surplus, and yet he couldn't find it. He didn't think it was a priority to fund school safety programs in non-public schools. What did he think was a priority? Transgender protections. Okay, I get it. Transgender, that's an issue, right? That's a mental health issue. Gender dysphoria is absolutely a problem. Kids need help. People, they need to get to they need the mental health help to get over this or to figure out what the heck's going on, because often we know that claiming that you're transgender really means that there's some other sort of mental health issues. A lot of these people are autistic even, right? So did he fund transgender protections like keeping kids from getting gender-affirming care until they are 18 and getting them funding so that they can go and have mental health evaluations and therapy? No. What did he do? What are these so-called protections? Well, he signed an executive order, 2303, and a Minnesota House File, 146. The executive order, which was signed in March of 2023, protected access to gender-affirming care while directing state agencies to shield providers and recipients from out-of-state legal repercussions, to investigate denials of care, and made sure that insurance covered these services. This House File 146 was signed in April of 2023 and made Minnesota a trans refuge state, quote unquote, prohibiting enforcement of out-of-state laws against gender-affirming care and allowing Minnesota courts to take jurisdiction in custody disputes that involve this kind of care. The day after the shooting at Annunciation Catholic Schools, the security issue was of course raised because Walz ignored earlier pleas to help protect kids in our non-public schools. The governor's office claimed, of course, that he supports student safety and has funded public school safety, but no specific non-public school security funds have ever been allocated. The shooting that they referenced, these churches and schools referenced, was the Nashville shooting at a non-public school, at a Christian school, Covenant Christian School in Nashville, Tennessee, March 27, 2023. The shooter, Eden Hale, was a transgender male. He killed 3 9-year-olds and 3 adults before fatally being shot by police. And if you haven't, look up the body cam footage of Nashville police going into that school. They are well trained. These officers are heroes. They went in and did what's called hot spotting. They didn't initially hear any gunfire, so they just started searching. And as soon as they heard gunfire, they knew where to go. And they went and they took out this guy. This guy had 3 guns, an AR-15, a 9mm carbine, and a handgun. He fired 152 rounds before being taken out. He had planned this attack. He had maps and writings, and of course was looking for notoriety before being taken out. That shooting was Tennessee's deadliest school attack, and of course it prompted, like they all do, prompted debates on gun control and school safety. But the governor of Tennessee, Governor Bill Lee, did something about it. He allocated $230 million for school safety after this. He signed legislation on May 10th, allocating $230 million to enhance school safety. And the breakdown was this: $140 million for one full-time armed school resource officer for every public school, $30 million for over 100 Homeland Security agents across all 95 counties to serve both public and non-public schools, $40 million for public school security upgrades, $14 million for private school security upgrades, and $8 million for additional school-based behavioral health liaisons. The law also mandates that they lock exterior doors, active shooter training for private security, threat assessment teams, and annual safety plans with incident command drills for all schools. What did Governor Walz do the day after the shooting here? He ordered the deployment of 20 state law enforcement, which included 14 state troopers and 6 DNR officers, Department of Natural Resource officers, to support public safety in Minneapolis. The officers were tasked with focusing their patrols around schools and places of worship in all 5 precincts of Minneapolis. Walz stated that this was to ensure safety and to reassure the residents. But of course, we know that this was a retroactive measure following the tragedy that was too little, too late. Hopefully in the coming days, he will be able to find money to allocate for this obviously worthy cause. But since we're in a $5 billion deficit, projected deficit, I'm not going to hold my breath.